So today I find myself out here at Bellefontaine Cemetery because I find cemeteries peaceful. And I never really gave it a whole lot of thought. Pardon me while I work my way around here. I'm getting ready to take a seat. I got some thoughts I want to share and just some stuff I'm processing. But some people find cemeteries to be morbid, places of sorrow. But then you look at some of the iconic work, some of the iconography, it's just amazing. It's physical representations of love, just all around me. I just noticed this headstone. I had noted it from behind. What a lovely little angel. Let me step over this wall. What just amazing stonework. Such detail. All that just to get to this little concept. The fact that I do find cemeteries so peaceful, and why is that? Looking at it through the lenses of somebody who's worked a lot of trauma recovery, there's solace and solitude here because those who are here can't get hurt anymore. They're already gone. And that was a sobering realization I had this morning as I was driving through the cemetery. It's like, oh yeah, there's that mortality concept. It can also be difficult to lose connections with individuals that you've cared about in the past. Sometimes individuals have a difficult time looking back on themselves. I know I've had my own struggles with that. It could definitely be painful. But I don't know. I really didn't have a plan. Just kind of sat down out here just with the inspiration of, hey, let's record some thoughts. And I really don't have very many thoughts going on today, really. I woke up after a short night's sleep. I've been up for hours at this point. Hours and hours and hours. I got to a point where I couldn't do any more work. I didn't want to sit at home. So I went for a drive, and of course I found myself hanging out in a cemetery. We got plenty of them here in St. Louis. But anyway, it's crazy where you can find that space that you might feel safer in than in others. And it's because of that I find it really difficult to pass judgment on others for how they deal with their own recovery and their own healing from their traumatic injuries and the trauma that evolves from that. Because the personal violation, the injury, is exactly that. That's the initial event. But it's later when the damage is recognized that's when the trauma hits. That's the realization of the injury. Kind of like if you had got a broken arm and years later you got arthritis set into it, and now you can feel when the rain's moving in. That's trauma. The broken arm was the injury. The arthritic condition later is the trauma. And it works the same way with psychology, and it can be like that due to bad doctrines. And some bad doctrines can lead to some bad political choices. And sometimes those political choices lead to policies that just have been really creating a lot of havoc amongst families, mine included. I'm not getting away unscathed here. as I've expressed before, I was raised in the Assembly of God Church. If you want to know anything about what's going on over there, just go take a peek at any of the Heretic Hunters channels, or Not by Sight News, or just look up Assembly of God preacher arrested, and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Or maybe you won't. I don't know. If you come from the background I have, you won't be surprised. You won't be surprised at all. Which is part of the problem, because when you're not surprised by children being abused, at that point it's become normalized. And that's bad. That's bad for the church body. That's bad for society. That's bad for any level of, sorry, I didn't mean to get so close. Any level of politics. It doesn't matter. So, yeah. I don't know where I'm going with all this. I'm just kind of rambling a bit. I just having a tough time getting thoughts congeal. I'm not surprised that there's all that fancy footwork, if you want to call it that, around the Epstein files. That doesn't surprise me at all. As an advocate against human trafficking and understanding, having a functioning understanding of psychology, narcissism, and empaths, thanks to H.G. Tudor. If you're not familiar with his work, go check him out. I highly recommend him, especially on his narcissist and empath categories and cadres. He's done a whole lot of different celebrities, profiles on a bunch of celebrities. Apparently, Meghan Markle is one of those characters that people just love for HG to hate on. But anyway, he doesn't even like doing it. It's just what his audience wants. But it provides him with fuel. Yeah, go check him out. You'll understand what I'm saying. That's HGTUDOR. Great guy. Great guy. Doing some serious work over here. But yeah, I'm not sure where else to go with this. Just kind of out here rambling, and had that realization that I'm drawn to cemeteries because the people that are here can't get hurt. And so that provides me with an opportunity for a place where I can be introspective without any judgment. Now, I have a lot of good support in my world, and in my little circle. Don't get me wrong, I got a lot of great support, but yeah, there is a difference between trauma aware, trauma informed, and trauma educated. Unfortunately, a lot of times the education just comes through life experience. Knowledge plus experience equals wisdom. And discretion is the better part of wisdom. So I guess I'll stop rambling at this point. And I do have some videos planned, but I just need to get some raw thoughts out there. I hope y'all are doing okay, and stay hydrated. Stay cool if you can, but definitely stay hydrated. Alright, I'll check y'all in the next video. Just doing some more wandering around, checking out some of this amazing stonework. Bellefontaine's got a really rich history.